Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the design of Tesla's new affordable EV, my own Cybertruck sightings, Tesla's Supercharger network staying exclusive, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Cadillac Lyriq sales have been improving in the US, but when we look at the data, it really shows how far ahead the Tesla Model Y is for Q2 of 2023 in the US. In Q2, Lyriq sales totaled 1,348 in the US, which is definitely an improvement over previous quarters. GM seems to be scaling up and is taking second place in the electric luxury D crossover segment. Of course, it's second place to the Model Y, which has nearly 100 times as many sales, at 105,500 sold in Q2 of 2023. Quote, from a segment share standpoint, the Lyriq held a 1% share, as did nearly every other entry except the Model Y, which earned a dominant 97% segment share, down from a full 100% a year ago. The I-Pace earned less than a 1% share. So while many can simply take that percentage to mean Tesla is losing market share, the domination of Model Y sales in the US is astounding. As a whole, this segment grew 105% in Q2, and that's mainly thanks to the Model Y. It's always remarkable to see Tesla's lead here, and that will be the most important thing going forward. It's cool to see new EVs coming from brands we've heard of, but nothing really matters until they're able to ship them profitably at scale. Tesla has that dialed in. Next up today, some Cybertruck updates, including my own sightings when I went up to Fremont this past week. First, we got a rare sneak peek at a Cybertruck after crash testing. According to a decal on the back of the vehicle, this one was subjected to a ditch rollover. While it definitely looks like it took some damage, it seems to have held up pretty well. A lot of pickup trucks taking this kind of damage might completely flatten depending on the impact because they don't have that same mid-body support that other passenger vehicles have. On top of that, pickup trucks are more likely to roll over. That makes this particular type of accident especially important to test, and the Cybertruck appears to be doing really well. The interior doesn't appear to be crushed at all, and we can see the body of the vehicle didn't buckle. We don't know the severity of this crash, but damage to the top of the windshield makes it appear as though it rolled all the way over. The body looks completely intact, so I'm wondering how badly damaged the electronics are. It does look like it could still be driven. Also in this video, we have confirmation that this truck has a rear screen. This has been rumored and now is expected since the Model 3 has added it, but it's cool to see confirmed nonetheless. We saw this screen featured in a shaky video posted on Cybertruck Owners Club last week, and now we're seeing that it can potentially withstand the truck rolling over. All of Tesla's passenger vehicles have 5-star safety ratings from NHTSA, so I'm expecting the Cybertruck to follow suit. Tesla likely wouldn't ship it if it didn't meet this criteria. Out in the wild as well, 2 RC-wrapped Cybertrucks were spotted side by side on the freeway. This is the first time we've seen something like this, and it really showcases just how cool and futuristic these trucks look. From the rear, there's the full light bar, and then my favorite view is looking back at them side by side. Through the mirror is also a particularly cool angle that they got in this video. Soon enough, this could be a normal sighting, and these renders showcase what Tesla's factory lots could soon look like at Giga Texas. A massive number of Cybertrucks filling out these lots and getting ready for customer deliveries. We've seen this before with all of Tesla's other cars, but seeing it for the Cybertruck just hits a bit differently. Up at Tesla's Fremont factory, Tesla posted this photo of the entire family taking a trip. This truck has 2 Model 3s, 2 Model Ys, 1 Model X, and 1 Model S, along with the Cybertruck on the back. On top of this, it's the Tesla Semi holding it all. It's pretty wild that just about a decade ago, Tesla was in the scaling process of the Model S, and today they produce all of these cars. One crazy thing to notice also is the size of the Cybertruck as compared to the Model 3 below it. It's a full-size truck, and it towers over the Model 3 sitting just under it. This may be one of the best photos we've seen to date that compare the scale here. In any case, when I was in San Francisco this week, I was able to check out a Cybertruck prototype parked alone in a parking garage. This is the first time I've seen the latest Cybertruck prototype up close, and especially one with Texas plates made at Giga Texas, and it's pretty wild to see. Overall, it was built pretty well, and I noticed how easily handprints remain on the vehicle. Looking inside, it had all the interior aspects we're used to seeing at this point, and one thing I noticed in particular is how much the side mirrors are tacked onto the body. These do seem easily removable as long as Tesla has a reliable replacement through the cameras on screen or something else. That windshield wiper though, that thing is massive, but it does kind of seem like the best option for such a large windshield. Worth noting for the windshield, it's similar to the Model X, except that you sit much further back in the Cybertruck. This leads to its massive dash that could store a lot in it, but also means that the view overhead will be fairly similar to that of a Model Y. As a driver, you will have a pillar right above you instead of unimpeded glass like the Model X. This truck is definitely a statement, and the more I see it in person, the cooler it gets. I was also able to see a few others parked at Tesla's facilities, and seeing a few of them side by side is exciting for the future. Next up today, we have a lot of new information regarding Tesla's $25,000 EV. The last we heard from Tesla, they were working on their next generation vehicle platform and planning to build it at Giga Mexico first. The announcement of that factory came at the end of their investor day, talking about every aspect of innovation they planned for this future car. Now it appears that those plans have changed in massive ways. First, we heard from Reuters that Tesla now doesn't expect production in Mexico to start until as late as 2027. Tesla suppliers said 2 or 3 months ago there was a lot of rush, lots of pressure to look for a location, but 1 month later they told us to wait. Reportedly, this has to do with permit delays. At first, this looked like bad news for the $25,000 Tesla, but now we've gotten more info by way of Walter Isaacson. His new book on Elon Musk has just released, and it details the process in major ways. One of the biggest pieces is Tesla switching initial production to Giga Texas. Quote, in May 2023, he decided to change the initial build location for the next generation cars and robotaxis to Austin, where his own workspace and that of his top engineers would be right next to the new high-speed, ultra-automated assembly line. This way, all engineers can be right there working on this assembly line in real time. The manufacturing process itself will be key in this whole project. Elon Musk has been dead set on this being a robotaxi with no steering wheel, while other executives have been pushing Tesla to make a flexible platform capable of doing both. Elon told Isaacson, "This is the product that makes Tesla a 10 trillion company. People will be talking about this moment in 100 years. That could very well still be the case, but it is heavily reliant on the ever-delayed process of FSD. Building another car on the same platform would cover their bet and ensure they don't have to wait on regulators in each country they plan to scale in." Elon wasn't super enthusiastic for a while. He told Isaacson, "It's really not that exciting of a product." For many, they'd argue this doesn't need to be exciting, just functional, but Elon eventually was convinced by the new designs. Quote, at a design review session one afternoon in February 2023, von Holzhausen put models of the robotaxi and the $25,000 car next to each other in the studio. Both had a Cybertruck futuristic feel. Musk loved the designs. When one of these comes around a corner, he said, people will think they are seeing something from the future. Tesla is never just going to make a car, they always want to be changing something and standing out. They are planning to do that here and to do so out of Giga Texas where the Cybertruck will be made. As for the design, first, this image of Franz next to a mock-up of a future car was featured in a CBS special about Isaacson's new book. It's cool to see this example of a two-person robotaxi that's very small, aerodynamic, and has storage, but of course this is simply a mock-up. It could steer us towards what Tesla is working on, but in the back there are also some renders Tesla was working with. These are hard to fully make out, but they've led to some great renders of what this car could look like. Seemingly, both Tesla's $25,000 EV and their robotaxi would take design inspiration from the Cybertruck, but Elon responded to the contrary on Twitter. He said, no, but robotaxi will look like the future. He could still be holding out for only a robotaxi here, or he could be saying that first the new affordable Tesla will look like a small Model 3, and then the robotaxi will fully look like the future, even though it's built on the same platform. Next up today, some exciting news for Tesla's Supercharger network and a piece I think everyone is ignoring. Last week, Honda announced that they are making a deal with Tesla to adopt their NACS connector. Quote, Honda Motor Co. Limited today announced that it has reached an agreement with Tesla Inc. to adopt Tesla's North American Charging Standard, NACS, for the charging port of its EV models that will go on sale in North America starting from 2025. They have reached the same deal as other brands with Tesla. At the same time, Tesla hit a new Supercharger milestone worldwide, 50,000 chargers. They tweeted about it saying September 2012, 6 Superchargers, September 2023, 50,000 Superchargers. The future is electric. It's pretty remarkable to see such growth, especially when we know that these chargers are reliable. That's very exciting, and soon enough, nearly all EV brands in the US will have access to these chargers. Or will they? When GM announced their deal with Tesla, they announced that, starting in 2024, owners of GM EVs will have access to 12,000 of Tesla's 45,000-strong network of DC fast chargers. Ford announced, quote, it reached an agreement with Tesla Motors that will provide Ford electric vehicle customers access to more than 12,000 Tesla Superchargers across the US and Canada. For Rivian, this was 12,000, same for Nissan, and for every company agreeing here. For some reason, the consensus seems to be that Tesla is opening up their entire network network in the US, and their advantage here will soon be gone. Soon enough, Tesla owners will have clogged up superchargers, but it appears to be far different than this. As of May of 2023, Tesla had about 17,000 superchargers in the US. As we know, this is growing every single day with brand new stations all over the country. I just road tripped up to Northern California from LA, and I charged at 2 different massive Tesla chargers. Here is my experience there. Today I'm driving from LA up to San Francisco, right near SFO, and I stopped at Kettleman City, but it navigated me over here, which is right across the street from like the one with the lounge that has like 35 chargers or whatever. And this one has 54 250 kilowatt chargers. I'm on my way back down from San Francisco, and I'm at Harris Ranch, or this is the Coalinga Supercharger. And I think the Harris Ranch official one is right here, and there is a supercharger here. But I charged over here, and the crazy thing is when we did our Rivian road trip, we stopped here because there's an Electrify America station, and there are 6 stalls. And our experience was that like 3 of them didn't work and the other 3 were taken, and it was really stressful and kind of a total nightmare, and it was charging slow no matter what we did. Versus this is still under construction, but we'll have 80 superchargers. 80. It never ceases to amaze me, just the scale of supercharging, and comparing that to Electrify America, it's just not even comparable. So that expansion is continuing, but as of May, that's about 5,000 superchargers that Tesla is choosing not to open, and more if we include Canada. A simple bit of math shows that Tesla is actually keeping a good portion of this network exclusive, and Tesla owners will still have the benefit here. Tesla is extremely data-driven and have shown us behind the scenes of their impressive charging operation. Based on this data, we can pretty much guarantee that the busiest, most important superchargers to Tesla owners will not be opened to other EVs, and Tesla will be able to control this with the routing they distribute to these brands. Tesla vehicles can see all superchargers and the ones exclusive to them, while other EVs will only see the ones that they can access. I imagine this could get a bit complicated as the owner of a non-Tesla EV in the future. You pull into a third-party charger, see 80 superchargers next door, and decide to charge there, only to learn it's not actually open to your car. That will definitely be an odd experience that definitely doesn't happen with gas, so it will be interesting to watch how Tesla handles that process. Either way, it just shows how ahead Tesla is in the charging space. They appear to be moving forward with a model that allows them to grow their charging business with non-Teslas, support the advent of electrification from all brands, and still provide a superior charging experience for their own customers. It's something a lot of people seem to be ignoring here. Unless something changes, they will only be opening 12,000 chargers to other EVs as they continue opening hundreds of new ones each month. Next up today, Giga Shanghai has hit another impressive benchmark. Tesla officially broke ground in Shanghai in January 2019 and was ready to enter production just 9 months later. Then a little under 2 years after that, they announced they had produced their 1 millionth vehicle. Now, 13 months later, they've doubled that. They announced this week that Gigafactory Shanghai achieves 2 million production milestone. That includes production of the Model 3 and Y. According to Gigafactory Shanghai's Senior Director of Manufacturing, their ability to outpace themselves so drastically is due to, quote, the superior business environment in Shanghai. He explains that China's new energy vehicle industry cluster in that area operates on a 4-hour industrial circle. That means all the supplies the factory needs for production are within a 4-hour drive of the factory, including chips, batteries, and gigacasting machines. Their supply chain has been localized by more than 95%, meaning only 5% of materials used to make a Tesla in Shanghai come from outside of its immediate surroundings. Tesla is therefore saving a ton on transportation costs while doing less damage to the environment. It also saves a lot of time, which is why this factory is so efficient. According to the Secretary General of the China Passenger Car Association, due to the solid foundation of the industrial chain, the Tesla Gigafactory in Shanghai was constructed, started production, and delivered its first car in the same year. This 2 million vehicle achievement in such a short time is doubly impressive considering they've been retooling that factory for the Model 3 refresh while ramping production. Some were hoping Tesla would be able to duplicate this speed with their other factories moving forward, but it sounds like Giga Shanghai has some special advantages that their other factories may not be able to compete with, at least for a while. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Rivian is gearing up to roll out dual motor configurations of the R1T and R1S, with orders for that option opening in July. Scooter Dahl from Electrek was able to test drive a dual motor R1T, and it seems to deliver on Rivian's promise to do everything for most customers. Their first mile adventure test track included a rough road, a dry creek bed, 2 tilted turns, and a steep uphill climb. On top of its 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, it was able to handle all of that with ease. The quad motor has a slightly quicker 0 to 60, but his opinion is that it really wasn't necessary. Rivian has also rolled out their Max Pack configuration that gets a 410-mile range. Their large pack gets 352 miles, but now customers have an even more impressive option, which they can get for as low as $89,000. That's about $10,000 more than the large pack on the R1T. It also looks like Rivian's infamous powered tonneau cover may be coming back. When this tonneau cover first came out, it had a lot of issues and was eventually taken off the R1T. Now, details on Rivian's Gear Shop page suggest it could be coming back next year. After configuring an R1T, customers may be able to select a model with a tonneau cover depending on their area. They say, quote, "The manual tonneau will be purchasable in Gear Shop later this year, and we'll be adding powered tonneau to Gear Shop in early 2024. I'm personally very excited for that change and hoping that Rivian will change out mine, because every time I use it, it's a question of, will this work or will this get stuck? Lucid is taking on a business strategy similar to Tesla's. So far, they've been known for expensive luxury vehicles, but their CEO said in an interview recently that that was, quote, "the only way I could make the business work financially." Moving forward, they plan to use the profits they've made on their more expensive vehicles to scale and produce more affordable vehicles. Quote, "We are targeting a price, and don't hold me to this, around $50,000. That's the vision, right in the heart of Tesla Model 3, Model Y territory." He said that's as low as they can go by mid to late decade, so it's possible we'll see that new vehicle get announced in the coming months. It sounds like if they do start working on an even cheaper car, it'll come with a much reduced range. He said that won't matter because at that point, fast chargers will be much more prevalent. For now though, their $249,000 Air Sapphire should be available soon. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my full review of the new 2024 Polestar 2, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.